what if you could take a picture, let's say one like this, and then have the image wirelessly transfer to your computer, edit it in RAW, and then upload it, print it, and print out a little receipt with a QR code where you can scan it and then have access to that image. That'd be pretty neat. Well, you can do that. 2 clicks of a button. And I'm going to show you how. Give it just a second and you should see a image print. Here's our QR code. If we scan it with our phone, we'll have access to this image that I just captured. Thanks, buddy. Here's your Skittles. Love you. I'm going to show you how to do that. Hi everybody, Eugene here. In this video, I want to show you what I think is the ultimate event photographer setup. It includes quality, speed, efficiency, and shareability. There's a whole bunch of things in here, and you can look at it and you can choose different aspects that you want to keep or remove depending on your type of workflow. But I believe this is the best workflow, at least that I've come up with, for capturing wirelessly, editing in RAW, automatedly, uploading to a share site, printing a 4x6 image, and printing out a QR code that you can actually scan to have access to that image that was uploaded, and then you have an option to share. So we'll kind of start at the very beginning. I'm using a Canon camera with wireless built in. If you don't have this option, then you can buy a wireless connection module. Tether Tools makes a really nice one, but there are a whole bunch of different options for wireless capture. I'm using the EOS utility. I'm going to click on remote shooting. So what's going to happen is my camera is set to capture in RAW, and right now it's in small RAW for the editability, but small for the speed and transfer. And you can go with medium or large depending on how quickly you need that image and how much quality you want. So the camera is going to take a picture, capture it, and then it's going to send it to a folder. And let me show you how that's set. Under preferences, I have my destination folder, which is C Lightroom hot folder. So we go right here. There's my hot folder, and then Lightroom is set to auto import, and it's monitoring that same folder. So Lightroom's going to automatically grab the image, and it's going to apply a develop module preset to the image as it captures it. So let's go ahead and just test that out and watch everything kind of move. Let me make this a little bit smaller so you can see, but still have Lightroom on the top. So I'll just take a picture of a guitar in the corner of my office, and you can see there it goes. It's sending wirelessly, and there's the temp file. As soon as it becomes a CR2, Lightroom's gonna grab it, and it's gonna ingest it and select it and apply the develop module preset. And just to give you an idea what the image would look like without it, there's without. Yeah, I have blown out highlights, and here's with a picture of my son. So we all know the benefits of shooting RAW and why we might want to. You have more dynamic range. You can do a lot more with the image without it kind of going to crap. So JPEG is good. JPEG works for event photography, but if you want to take that step up and have just a little bit more high quality image with some more editability, RAW is the way to go, and Lightroom's a great program for that. So the next thing that's going to happen is we need to export this, and we want to send it to a folder that Darkroom is monitoring. So I have my Darkroom hot folder camera right here, and Lightroom is going to remember the last export that you used. So you can do, there's a keyboard shortcut guide right up here. It is Command Shift or Control Shift E. Let me see, I think it might be in the library module, to auto export, but or not for auto export, but for export. It'll pull up the export dialog box. So Control Shift E, and there we go. Now and then you would click enter and automatically process. So you can do that manually. I've added a button, a Bluetooth button by Flick, that is programmed to do Command or Control Shift E and then wait a second and then hit enter. So let's go ahead and try that, and we'll switch over to the Darkroom hot folder and see that image now move. Whoops. You want to make sure Lightroom's selected because that's what it's going to apply to. So we'll hit the button, and there it goes. And then oops, let's create a let me close Booth. Yeah, Booth is open. And then we're open just Core. Okay, we'll create a new event just so we create new catalog demo. Whoops. Apparently I use the word demo quite a bit. Okay, so we have our image. We'll click that again just to see it in action. So it's sending to this folder as a JPEG with the edits, and now it's added to Darkroom, and you can see automatically that something's happening. So Darkroom's a king of workflow, and these type of automations, there's no better program. I have it set to automatically print on a receipt paper, so this is super economical, and then also print to a DNP printer, so this is super fast. And then if you look closely, it's also adding a logo, and it's adding a file name. And I'll show you how this is all done in just a moment. But I can turn on my camera app and scan this code, and now it's going to have that image available for me to download, share. There are a few different options, and I have guides on kind of each part of these all separately, but not one all together, so I have more in-depth guides on how to set these things up. But that's using Event Gallery. That's what's uploading. So let's go into Darkroom to see how did we get all of that to happen. So I have my camera set to a hot folder camera, so it's automatically going to pull in images that go into this camera, and really you want to use raw images. That's why we're using Lightroom. Lightroom has amazing raw processing engine, but so that's where Lightroom comes in, and you use the two together, and they fill in the spaces that each one is lacking. I have it set to auto print, and I have a 4x6 border on it. And I'll show you that border in just a second. So it's auto printing. Here in this case means upload to event gallery, and I have it set to go to use that border and then upload to this gallery here. And then I have a smaller print, 2 1/4 by 5.5 or 4.5, and set to use a different template. This is my receipt, my QR code template. And then I have a 4x6 print set to use the same template as the one above. It looks a little bit different, but they're actually using the same template. So that's all what's happening with auto print. The templates I have are just a simple image with a logo and the file name. And then for the receipt logo, a QR code that automatically updates. It goes to my website or my gallery, and then there's a gallery name, and then here's the file name that automatically updates each time I take a new picture, or each time it processes a new image. And I have it adding the file name, catalog name, order number, and date. And that is it. That is how that all works. Now, let's say you didn't want to use raw images because it just took too long. You can use a hot folder camera just like we are, and from the camera go directly into the hot folder. Let's say wireless takes too long. You can tether your camera either straight to darkroom or straight to Lightroom and just still have the raw processing part, and you leave out the wireless part. If you wanted just to shoot JPEG, you can tether directly into darkroom with a cable, and I have a video that I'm making for that. This whole setup without the Lightroom and the wireless part on Darkroom's channel. So if you don't want to print, you just under auto print, don't use the option for 4x6, and then you just get a receipt. And all you have to take with you is a little receipt printer, and the receipt printer I'm using is Epson T88 style receipt printer. But all you take with is a little laptop and a receipt printer, and then your camera. And you can opt not to do 4x6, or you can opt not to do the sharing and the receipt part and just do the print. So this is kind of like it's a more complicated workflow that uses everything, and you can choose what you want to use and what you want to leave out. I hope this has been helpful. I hope it's been thorough enough. There are a lot of moving parts within here, but for those who want to do this or been working at something like this should kind of fill in some of those gaps. And once again, the little button I'm using is from Flick. It's pretty new. It's for home automation, and this is really the one thing I've been missing in my personal workflow. There's always had to be somebody else at a computer hitting Control-Shift-E, Enter after the image imported into Lightroom to get it to keep going. Lightroom's the one thing that is missing, that little automation to take an image and hand it off to something else, versus Darkroom handles that very, very well. But once again, Lightroom handles raw images very, very well. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this is interesting, at least. If not too complicated, hopefully it helps you in your own personal workflow. And I'll see you next time.